Princess Leonor's royal morning routine, a gentle start to her love story. The sun rises softly over Madrid. Beyond the grand facades of Zarzuela Palace, birdsong fills the gardens. Yet inside, in a quiet room where centuries of royal tradition rest on young shoulders, Princess Leonor begins her morning in ways both ordinary and extraordinary. This is not just routine. It is the gentle start of a love story. Her alarm does not blare with urgency. Instead, a soft chime wakes her, chosen deliberately to remind her of calm, not duty. For Leonor, mornings are sacred, a place where she can be herself, away from cameras, away from protocol, and perhaps, closest to her heart. She rises slowly, pulling back curtains to greet the day. The Spanish light floods in, a golden hue that bathes her in warmth. It is here she pauses. Every morning begins with stillness. A prayer, a thought, or sometimes, simply gratitude. She whispers quietly, thanking the day before it begins. This is where her story of love quietly threads itself, not only love for someone else, but love for her people, her family, and her destiny. But here lies the first question: where does personal love fit into a life shaped by duty? That question lingers in every breath of her morning. She moves to her desk. Neatly arranged, a few letters sit waiting. Some from advisors, some from friends abroad. But one envelope, always discreet, holds something different. Handwritten notes exchanged in secrecy, messages not of politics, but of affection. Her smile as she reads reveals a world hidden from cameras. A love story slowly unfolding, even in the quiet corners of dawn. Her morning continues with discipline. Exercise is essential. Trained like any future leader, Leonor dedicates herself to fitness, not for vanity, but for strength. She runs in the palace gardens, steps echoing against gravel paths once walked by kings and queens. Guards at a distance, yet giving her privacy. As she runs, she thinks. About the speeches she will give. About the scrutiny she will face. And about the person whose encouragement she secretly carries with her. Afterward, she returns, her routine blending royalty and normalcy. Breakfast is simple: fruits, tea, fresh bread. But sometimes, her phone buzzes quietly. A message from someone special. Perhaps a good morning, perhaps a shared memory. These moments infuse her meal with sweetness beyond tradition. And yet, there is tension. Because every act of love in Leonor's life must be shielded. The palace walls protect her, but they also confine her. Can she balance a tender, growing romance with the weight of the crown? That question shapes her every day. As the morning unfolds, lessons begin. Languages, history, diplomacy, her schedule is packed. She studies not just for herself, but for a nation watching her grow into its queen. Yet even here, love sneaks in. A note in the margin of her textbook. A small token in her drawer. A fragrance that reminds her of a shared evening. These subtle details weave romance into the strict fabric of royal preparation. And always, family remains close. Queen Letitia's presence is felt in her advice, sometimes stern, sometimes tender. King Philippe's gaze is steady, proud, protective. But even they wonder, how will Leonor's heart guide her reign? Will her love story strengthen her throne, or complicate it? The curiosity deepens. Who is this person that holds her heart? Rumors swirl, whispers of European royals, of childhood friends, of discreet meetings on official trips. The truth remains guarded, yet the signs are undeniable. Every smile, every private glance caught by cameras adds fuel to the speculation. And so, her morning routine is more than habit. It is rehearsal for a life lived in two worlds, one of public duty, one of private love. Each morning she must stitch these worlds together, carefully, delicately, like a seamstress of fate. She writes in her journal. A simple leather-bound book, hidden from view. In it, she captures her thoughts. Sometimes about speeches, sometimes about her hopes, and often, about love. She writes of longing, of balance, of courage. And in those pages, her story unfolds honestly, vulnerably. If ever discovered, it would reveal the heart behind the crown. As the palace begins to stir with officials and staff, Leonor takes one final moment for herself. She steps onto her balcony, looking across the gardens, imagining a future not yet written. Will love guide her reign? Will it unite kingdoms, or simply strengthen her as a woman? She does not yet know. But the morning reminds her, love, like duty, begins with small, quiet choices. And so the cycle continues. Each dawn, a new page. Each routine, a chance to balance the weight of expectation with the lightness of affection. To the outside world, it is just breakfast, study, and ceremony. But to those who look deeper, it is the foundation of a love story that may one day change the course of European royalty. Because behind the grandeur of the palace, behind the walls that guard her, Princess Leonor's mornings reveal a truth both simple and profound, that even the future Queen of Spain begins her day not with power, but with love. And the question that lingers for us all, how will this gentle morning routine, these letters, these whispers, these stolen moments, one day shape not only her destiny, but the destiny of a nation? Only time will tell. But the love story is already unfolding, one morning at a time.